Oh, I got a Zoom, man. What's that? Good to know.
Begin in 5 minutes. Please take your seats and kindly ensure you wear your face mask at all time and switch your mobile phone to silent mode. A very good morning and warm welcome to Mr. Muta Sohari, Chief Executive Officer, MTC, Mr. Roger Chin, Chief Operations Officer, MTC, participants from timber companies in UAE, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning. My name is Gopi and I'd like to welcome you to MTC Talk session titled Malaysia's Journey to the Arab World. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, is an important market. It's an important market and it's evident with the existence of Malaysian Timber Council regional office in the Middle East and Africa region in Dubai. Today, we are going to present and provide updates on current developments of our Malaysian timbers and timber products in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'd like to invite the CEO of Malaysian Timber Council, Mr. Muta Sohari, to come on stage to deliver his welcoming remarks. Mr. Muta, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Thank you very much to Mr. Gopi, the MC for today. And just for information, Mr. Gopi is also the regional head for our MTC Europe based in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. I think you're from Netherlands, right? Okay. And I have my Chief Operations Officer here, Mr. Roger Chin, and a few directors from Malaysian Timber Council. We are here for this week 17. Which is actually for the non-food agri-commodity for Malaysian Pavilion here in Expo Dubai, Expo 2020 Dubai. So first of all, on behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, I would like to welcome all of you to this special talk on Malaysian timber journey to the Arab world. And then for today, we have a very special speaker who is also one of my directors here, Mr. Khairul Anwar. Have you met Mr. Khairul Anwar? Yes, so he's our key speaker for today. And tomorrow there'll be another forum. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow we have another forum involving few architects, lecturers, those with experience with timber. So they will also join us tomorrow for another forum. Yeah. So, and to all the participants today from the timber companies in UAE, to see a very lot of key companies, key stakeholders in the UAE. Thank you very much for your participation in today's event. And maybe I should introduce as well Mr. Chua Song Fong. If you don't mind, can you stay? Mr. Chua Song Fong is the president of the Timber Exporters Association of Malaysia team. So he's here today, and yesterday actually we had signed an MOU, memorandum of understanding with Sharjah Port Authority yesterday to see how we can further enhance our export to the UAE. Yeah. So Malaysia is one of the largest producer and exporter of tropical hardwood sawn timber and major exporter of tropical plywood, veneer, moldings, and other timber products to the world. The timber products are highly sought after for the Middle East region. Sawn timber, panel products, home furniture, and furniture components, skillfully made from the finest of timbers, which are sourced sustainably, offering durability and style. And I think even you can see the facade of this Malaysian pavilion is made of red Marathi. So you can see the facade up there. I think even the chairs where you are sitting on now is made of red Marathi as well. Yeah. So let me just share with you some of the data that we have here on the export of Malaysian timber-based products. Last year, from January to November 2021, have increased by 2.2% to around 5 billion US dollars, or in Malaysian terms, around 23 billion Malaysian ringgit last year. So even though during pandemic, our export value is increased by 2.2%, which for me is a good progress that we made last year compared to the previous year. And to Middle East countries, it's around 200 million on timber and timber products export. And specifically for the United Arab Emirates, or UAE, in 2021, this one up to November, because we haven't received the statistic for December, it's around 75 million US dollars, or in Malaysian ringgit, it's around 324 million Malaysian ringgit last year, which is increase of around 6% compared to 2020. So there's a very good increase from 2020 to 2021, even up to November. We see a very good trend, and I hope for 2022, and that's why we are here today, we would like to see a better steady increase of our export to the United Arab Emirates, and also this part of the world of Middle East and Africa. So being on week 17 of the Dubai Expo, actually MTC, Malaysian Timber Council, we are the lead agency for this week. So that's why a lot of programs being arranged for under MTC. And even yesterday, we launched three of our programs. The first one is Forest Beyond Timber video, where this video will be aired in National Geographic channel soon. The second one, we also launched our Timber Reality.my, which is a 360-degree virtual mall. So if you go to internet now, you can type Timber Reality.my, so you can see the showroom of our timber companies, including their factories. You can see from this website Timber Reality.my, which is first ever virtual mall of timber that we created in Malaysia. So there are, I think currently we have around 40 companies having a showroom in this platform, so they can give you some ideas on what are the products that we can offer. And the third one, yesterday we also launched our Malaysian Wood Expo 2022, where in November this year, end of this year, we are going to have our Malaysian Wood Expo. We have a very successful one back in 2019. So this year will be the second edition of this Malaysian Wood Expo. And I hope all of you can book your slot or book your booth in this program in November this year. And some of you, I asked my friends here sitting next to me just now, have you been to Malaysia? He said he'd been to Malaysia, but for leisure only, for holiday. So hopefully the next visit to Malaysia will be in November during the Malaysian Wood Expo, yeah? Okay, inshallah, yeah? And then I think another one we also discussed yesterday is we also discussed about the sustainability. The keyword of sustainability is important to us because some people mentioned that timber industry need to be more sustainable. So that's why part of our programs for 2022, we have few programs related to circular economy. We also have some programs related to ESG, environmental, social governance, to ensure that we are really sustainable. And even our forest management now, we are quite stringent in terms of our requirements to ensure that everybody will comply with the rules and regulation and do some reforestation. Even now we have forest plantation programs and community farming upcoming to ensure that we can have more trees, not only now, but for the future. Yeah? And then another one that I like to mention as well, that we have our certification, which is the MTCS, Malaysian Timber Certification Scheme, which is recognized by the Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification (PEFC), and we are committed to ensure that this certification will be our main agenda as part of to achieve the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, set by the United Nations (UN). Yeah. So that's all that I have on my script here. But again, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have Operation Timber Council. So I would like to thank all of you for your attendance in today's event. And tomorrow I'll be flying to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for official opening of a new office in Saudi Arabia. This is actually to cater for the Saudi Arabian market as well as the Northern African market, and hopefully we can capture more markets for our Malaysian timber and timber-based products to the world. So we also have after Jeddah, we're going to the United States. We also have our office in Houston. I mentioned Rotterdam just now under Mr. Kopi, and we also have our office in Bangalore, Bangalore in India, and Guangzhou in China. So this is to show our commitment that we want to expand further in our timber industry, and with the help of all of you here, the key players of the industry, we can make through with this journey together. Yeah. With that, I'd like to end my speech. Let's power progress together. Bila taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Nota, for the welcoming remarks. Moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Khairul Anwar. Mr. Khairul is MTC's Director of International Business Development Division, Cluster 2, covering the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia region. He graduated with a BBA in International Business from Northwood University and holds an MBA in Strategic Management from University Technology Malaysia. He started his career with MTC. He started his career with MTC in 2008 as the Regional Director of MTC Middle East, formerly known as MTC Dubai. I'm sure a lot of people know him and familiar with Mr. Khairul. Now he is the regional head for Bangalore office and also for Cluster 2. Yeah. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Khairul Anwar on stage to deliver his speech.
Thank you, Gopi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. So happy to see all our my old friends who has been around since my days during my Dubai posting. Thank you so much for your support all this while. Today I'm going to present a paper on our Malaysian timber journey to the Arab world. This was a photo taken 2009. It was taken in front of Dar al-Hajj in Yemen. The reason why I want to show this picture is because of the utilization of wood. This is a very old building. It was placed on top of the hill. If you can see, I'm sorry, I cannot zoom in, but I visited up on the building, and we can see that the utilization of wood in its doors, it is window frames, etc. So I think that shows that timber utilization has been around for many, many years, especially in the Arab countries. And like my CEO mentioned earlier, the wood facade outside, it is made of Morant. So the reason why we want to show this is to exhibit to all our friends visiting our booth, to say that we, Malaysia, we have a very good product we show. Okay, let me bring back to where it began, Malaysian Timber Council. This is a paper clipping back in 26 March 1991. And the picture was the late, that time was the Sri Lim Heng Ye. So he was the former minister. And at that time, many of the timber exporters, they discussed and they brought up the idea to the minister to establish an organization to help and assist the industry as a whole. So at that time, MTC was known as Malaysian Timber Industry Development Corporation, MTIDC. That was the old name. So we were born in 1992. Earlier on those years, our role is mostly to counter the NGOs back in Europe. Because at that time, the Europeans were very were giving us pressures on illegal logging. So the reason why is for us to actually continue to educate the NGOs on what proper mechanisms on the forestries. And later on, MTIDC was changed to Malaysian Timber Council, and also we were given tasks to help and promote the industry members. One of the industry members is timber exporters. Yeah. So Timber Exporters Association is one of the key members, founding members of MTC. Right. So we are actually a company limited by guarantee, right? And we were formed on the initiative of the timber industry. We were governed by Board of Trustees, and one of the BOT is Mr. Chua. And at the very beginning, we were self-funding through endowment fund since 1980. And again, like I mentioned, we were mandated to take the lead in trade promotions and marketing since 1980 onwards. And in 2012, we were mandated to actually promote the furniture as well. Very old. This is the photo. This was a photo taken on the very first day of MTC Dubai in Sheikh Zayed. I think Robin remember this building, right? Sheikh Zayed. So, and if you happen to visit our office, visit my staff, Roshan and Mr. Mushid, you will also find the same furniture. It's not that we are cheapskate, but we just want to show that our furniture can last for many years. Since 1999, it's still there and it's still strong. And on the left side is Excellency Fleece from he was the former DG of Dubai Chambers, and as mentioned by CEO, so these are our presence, national presence. We've got Houston, Rotterdam, Jeddah, Dubai, Bangalore, and Abu Dhabi. And I'm based in HQ. I'm taking over, I'm in charge of Dubai, Bangalore, Jeddah. And my colleague, Mr. Tan, is taking care of Houston, Rotterdam, and Abu Dhabi. Now this is the one that I mentioned earlier. So we've got 6 associations. And the last association that was inside is actually the 5 founding members, MWA, team, and MTC, and MFC. So these are the founding members, right? And MWA is mostly on sawmills, timber exporters, also doing sawmills and also timber exporters. MTMA is more on panels. So if you guys are looking for panels and MDF, so you can talk to them. And we've got the MWMGC, which does the interiors and also most of the buildings. And last, the furniture houses. Perka, their members have everything. Mostly, they are more towards, they do a lot of furnitures, hardwood furnitures. As mentioned earlier, I think this is a sustainable need. So I just want to explain about our commitment as Malaysia. We continue to promote sustainable timber products. So over here we've got FSC and PFC. Most of our products are actually PFC. The reason why is because our forest is regulated by PFC. Of course, there are also some lots, forest lots, which has an FSC. But I would say about 80% of them are actually PFC. But I mean, to the eyes of you guys, as far as we can offer our customers sustainable timber products, then I think it's okay. It's all about brand. A bit of the performance of timber sector. This was 2020. Because I just want to show the difference. So despite the fact COVID, we actually just dipped at 2.1%. We continued that year. Of course, there were limitations, but overall, we hit a 2.1% reduction. Now, if you look at this is January to October 2021. Alhamdulillah, with your support, the business continued despite the restrictions and the COVID was still raging last year. So we hit about 0.8% positive increase. Well, this is an infographic based on January to November 2021. So we hit 2.5% of export, right? For main timber products, so here you can see the largest proportion is actually wood furniture, right? Then comes plywood, then we've got sawn timber, 10.9%. Some of our friends mentioned to me, Harold, what's happening with your MDF? I think what is happening now with MDF is because we are concentrated towards helping out our furniture sector locally because of the export charges, the transport. I think it puts pressure, to be honest. It puts pressure to the exporters as well. Well, this is for 2021, November 2021. Right. Okay, this is November 2021. You see the difference? We have a bit dip a bit on the wooden furniture. 2020 was 48.3 full year, and November 2021 we already achieved 45.6% in terms of the overall percentage. This was a picture taken when we had our first mission, PNM. This was in 2004. You see the faces, familiar faces, these are all the veteran players. They are very active in this region. So I'm sure some of you guys know so he's one of the veteran guys. He used to be the president before Mr. Chuan. This is the first marketing mission held in Dubai. At this mission, we brought in, if not second, we brought in 6 Malaysian exporters, mostly to connect with the local importers. So you hear that there's one. This was a picture of me visiting the Dubai chambers because we have to maintain that kind of rapport. I think it's also good for the reputation for the so we do lots of programs. We try to balance things. I think you guys know very well that I always visit your place that time. And on that as well, we also try to promote on the regional basis. So I travel a lot to that time. I travel a lot to the Gulf countries. So, right, who's that guy? The tall guy. Do you remember? Yeah. This is a mission that we had, a marketing mission that I led together with Mr. Cha. This was we went to Lebanon, we went to Jordan, and we went to Syria. So these are the activities that we do. We do lots of connecting with the major players, the importers, and whatnot. So over here, I remember maybe we have brought in about 7 companies. So that's how we try to connect the Malaysian exporters as well as because I always believe that despite doing video calls of virtual things, nothing can beat with personal interactions face to face, right? Now, this was a technical mission that we did with Iran. Iran. Because Iran, they have this requirements, lots of requirements on T-rates. So we brought in a few companies. I led the vision. So we went to see all the consultants and also the contractors, just to find out what actually they need. Our participation for MTC Dubai also extends to Saudi. This was a picture taken with one of the family, the Saudi family, at Saudi Build. So we participate in a lot of exhibitions, basically to promote our Malaysian food. A bit blurry, but this is another photo taken when I had a meeting at the Syria. Now, again, I think this, I just want to show you in terms of regional. You can see here that you've got the Europe, Americas, Asia, Africa, Oceania. Those are the total of the percentage. Right? And for this, we have another section for January, November 2021. So you can see here that South Timber, a lot goes to the ASEAN region, right? And then followed by Europe. Here is a graph to show the percentage in terms of millions. In terms of products, right? Furniture is the number one. Then you've got plywood. By the way, we sell a lot of plywood to Japan for their construction, for their incoming world game games. So, as I mentioned earlier, I think with the birth of MTC Dubai back in 1999, we did a lot of things. I think I was very proud during my time. I think with all your support, I think we managed to get a lot more wooden products to this region. And if you can see here, the total exports increased actually. So from 214 US dollars in 2000 up to from 99, so it reached 214 million. Then you've got the total exports worldwide rose, and UAE as well as this region is always been a preferred region for our timber products. When I talk to the guys from Malaysia, they said Middle East is still very important. The reason why is because, of course, each region has their own preference, right? So if you're talking about the Europeans, they would prefer more the high value qualities. But nevertheless, we do not discount the fact that Middle East is also very critical in terms of the sizes, right? So Europe has a different size. So whatever the remaining sizes that is not sellable in Europe goes to Middle East. So we just want to promote the zero wastage. So that's the reason why Middle East has always been critical for many of our exporters. Well, COVID problem for everyone. So we've got shortages of raw material, and until now we're still having the cost freight challenge and manpower for Malaysia during those MCO1, MCO2, MCO3, we're still struggling. And we've got the restrictions on international travel. I think all of us do. I'm quite lucky because I was here on special arrangements. Widespread for COVID, I think we have to live with it. The way I look at it, we have to adapt and just move forward, just move on. I think we've got all the necessary SOPs and precautions. So we have to move on. I think business cannot stop. So you can see, even I was here for the past 2 days. I was driving around Roger and Suchua. So we went to Lamir. And we were like, oh, there's party going on. So lots of people, you know, even the kids were playing. So I think Dubai will still continue. I was talking to some of our friends. They said that construction is still active. And I think in terms of regional, in terms of regional exposure, I think UAE and Saudi both are going to go ahead no matter what. Right. And during those 2 years, my division do a lot of virtual events. Again, because we cannot travel and that we had to do something. So we decided I quickly called my old friends, say, please support me, please support our virtual. So we had a lot of discussions online. So we had two types of engagements. And one is the industry dialogue, and two is the virtual B2B. And alhamdulillah, with that kind of activity, we still managed to get our exports moving. Of course, with a lower volume because of the restrictions, but at least we move on. So, we also have industry dialogues with specifiers, consultants, contractors. So I think it's also good for our Malaysian exporter to actually listen to what the final buyer wants, right? So I think when we talk about virtual, you got the cost saving mostly. And as mentioned by CEO just now, we announced the Timber Reality. So I think that's another product that you guys might want to check out. Basically, you don't have to travel. You just, maybe what I recommend you guys, you just go and register, have a look, because they've got about 40 companies with Timber Reality. Then once you kind of like feel the attachment, then maybe once you travel to Kuala Lumpur in November, you guys strike the deal. So 2021, we had 14 virtual events. We also participated in Dubai Show. Roshan went and participated, and she also went to IMO. So these are some of the things that we did, and I'm so happy that we actually recorded potential sales of about 34 million US dollars by just sitting in the office. Right, some of the pictures. Again, these are all the veteran people. Some of you guys also came on board. We also had a virtual trade mission to Nigeria. I think one of the organizers invited us. We had a few talks. Now, if you talk about growth projection, again, I think in terms of the regional, you can see that quite spread, right? If you zoom in into Middle East and Central Asia, we're talking about 4.1% of growth, right? And emerging in Asia, we also places countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. Those are some of the areas that MTC will be looking in the future. We saw this from the Reuters polls. So it shows that Dubai housing market is still moving on. So there are about 64% of demand from foreign investors. I think you guys are long enough here, you know that actually the international investors are the ones who are actually pumping the construction, right? And I think what will proceed in the near future is the affordable homes. I think affordable homes is one of the areas that Dubai is lacking of, because Dubai has always been positioned as a luxury homes, but they should be also focusing more on affordable homes, easier to sell. Many people can jump into that. I took this infographic from Ken Research, and we are expecting a lot of tourism coming later on. Some of the real estates that the Ken Research covered, these are the top guys, right? And also, interesting enough, Abu Dhabi is also a coming market. Because they always have the brotherly fight by Abu Dhabi. Now, this is taken from tophotelconstruction.com. So you can see here on the regional basis, you've got all the most of the projects that will be upcoming. we've got Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE is having the most, 203 projects, then followed by the brother Saudi Arabia, 61. I mean, when I stayed in Dubai for quite some time, I understand a bit about how they treat each other. So, like for example, my perception towards Oman is always slow and steady. Slow and steady means they do developments, but it's on a very sustainable and very successful. Qatar also another area that we look. So on that side, you can see the first class and luxury projects, right? So overall, I think in summary, I think this region is still going to continue to become a preferred destination for most of the experts. I put here this is a bit of case study that I did on Egypt. Egypt, in terms of Middle East, is also another sleeping giant to me. We've got because I've been to Egypt a few times. I think over the years, they always have the advantage of a big population. And the middle class in Egypt is now coming up. So they've got lots of money to spend. Hence, they're opening up a lot of constructions. Alexandria, Sharm el-Sheikh, and whatnot. So potential for Malaysians to export also. And also maybe you guys also have your customers in Egypt. So maybe our Malaysian exporters can go direct via you guys. It's another case study. New Jeddah downtown. I think since our opening of Jeddah office, I've already requested our staff to go on ground to actually talk to all the stakeholders. So we've got a few projects in line for Saudi. Another case study we did on Oman. Again, like I said, Oman, I think they are also preparing lots of housing for their own nationals, right? And with that, there are always potential for our exports. Oman is a big fan of wood. I think you guys have been to Muscat Old Town, right? So you see lots of housing uses wood. So this is my final picture. This is a picture taken from Greece. It's actually a very old wooden structure. And I think that clearly shows why wood is very essential for us. Because it provides sustainability. And I think all of us, I would say we are the ambassadors. So I guess we will continue to do our best. I can assure you, we will continue to give the full support, which I already gave you before. I will continue from Malaysia, and I also hope that you guys will continue to support Malaysia. So, anyways, thank you so much for coming. And please, if you have any question, burning question, it's okay. I can try and take it. If not, I'll pass to Mr. Chua. Just give all any of your burning questions. Anyone? Any member of the audience with any burning questions? This is your chance to attack him. Take a good shot. Come on, man.
Well, the actress is
Not at all. It's either you know too much of what he has, you understood too much of what he said, or you just don't know what to ask. Right? Okay. So I want to request all my dear friends. We know very well that Dubai is a very strong market for Meranti, Redwood, MLH, and also Meranti. So we as MTC, we want to try to promote lesser known species. To be honest, I've tried during my years in Dubai, I've tried. But it's just that your end customers are not willing to take up that thing. So maybe I request all you, please continue to also, give your suggestions. Maybe we can work something out. You guys know your customers, so maybe there is a chance for you to actually change the mindset of your buyers to explore lesser known species. I'm going to give you an example. Maluna, for example, Maluna. Maluna is a wood, I think it's quite similar to Meranti. It's a bit cheaper, anyway, cheaper than Meranti. I think that's one of the species that you guys can talk to your end clients. With your persuasion skills, I'm sure you can try. We just want to break away from the old style thinking, when we talk to our end users, we are okay, you've got Meranti, you've got Meranti. We know that we are okay in that section, but we want to try and explore the lesser known species. What else, Mr. Chong? Kedondong. Kedondong is another material. Kedondong is quite abundant in Malaysia. So these are the species that we can persuade our end users, which is you guys, right? You guys can talk to the clients. And what else? Durian. Yeah, durian is another species. I love the fruit. Love durian fruit. But we have quite a good resource for that. So durian is well known to also make balls, right? Balls, right? Yeah. And also the hero joints. Right. So anything else? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Karul, for that insightful presentation on Malaysia's timber journey into the Arab world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our morning. On behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, we would like to thank everyone for making time in your busy schedule to join us this morning. It's been our pleasure to host this event and wish you all a pleasant day ahead. We would like to invite everyone on stage for a photo session. So come, we would like you to come down. Or maybe come up. Because with the backdrop. So it's nice to have that. So I think the next presentation that he will be doing, he will include this photo in his presentation. Am I right? A new addition. Yes.
Yeah. Let's take one first. Let's take one.
One, two, three. Okay, another one you got one. Okay. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you.
Hi everyone, we are all invited for a refreshment. Can you please kindly follow my colleague, Ms. Chai?